Hello everybody. Hello, welcome. I am Dan, your friendly fishmonger at dansfish.com. Glad you could join us today. We do this every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, or 7:02 today, I suppose. I'm just a couple minutes late, sorry about that. Or 9 o'clock Eastern Time for those that might be mountain challenged. Today we're going to do, I can't do a shipping report. Hang on. Let me see if I can do the shipping report. I don't think I have the data. I'll explain why. Today's been crazy. I know there were a couple issues. I know that a couple boxes got too warm. So I know a couple Corys didn't make it, a couple other things. But I think it's pretty minimal. But we'll do the shipping report here. I think I can do that. Let's see. Let's see, what day was the 19th? Okay, yes, I can give you a shipping report. It'll be a little different, but I have the data here. So I will do that, and then we'll do the giveaway, which is a good one. It's some high-class Platies that we'll talk about, provided by Caylor's Aquatics and Reptiles. Thanks, Bob, for the generous giveaway, and also for being an OG. Bob, I don't know if everyone knows this. Bob was one of my first customers ever. I think he's like subscriber number 13 or something like that. One of the first people to attend a live stream, one of the first people to kind of give me an attaboy as I was first getting started. So Bob, appreciate you, my friend. Hope you're doing well, and thanks so much for sponsoring the giveaway tonight. Okay, and then let's hear. What am I doing? My mind is a jumble. I'll explain all why later. But anyway, let's do the shipping report. So I don't have a percentage calculated, but what I can do is tell you that since I last reported to you, as far as I know, there have been 5 losses. We've had 5 losses. 2 C123 Corys, 2 Corridors duplicarius, and 1 Black Lancer catfish. All catfish, oddly enough. So I don't know what that makes our percentage, but I know that that's way under 1% because I know we've shipped out a lot more fish than that this week, but I don't know the exact numbers or exact percentage. The reason I'm so discombobulated today is we had to tear apart our economizer, that big heat exchanger unit. Let me show you an economizer. Okay, so this is what we're talking about. It's a big piece of equipment that, this kind of shows you the inside. On the inside, whoops, that's a video. On the inside, there's all these plates. And they claim heat from water on one side and transfer it into water on another side. And that's the way that we warm up the water coming in from the local creek most of the way before it goes into the aquariums. And it's a big unit, looks a lot like that, ours does. And it's got a lot of head pressure on it, so it was getting mucky. So today we had to open it up, take out all these plates. There's, I don't know, a couple hundred of them or so. Wash them all out, put them back in, and get that thing all cleaned up, because it was getting so much gunk in it that the pump was like, I'm working pretty hard. So we had to give the pump a break. We started that earlier today, and as these things go, this is our first time doing this, and so opening that bad boy up. And so of course it was a learning curve, and we're not done yet. So right up until the stream started, I was just doing that, working on that, and after the stream, we'll go back and finish, because I've got to get that all put back together tonight so that the fishies can have their water flowing overnight. So that's what I've been doing, just trying to get that done before the stream. Yeah, not even close. not even close. The main problem was the big bolts that hold the thing together. The nuts on that are 1 13/16 of an inch. And I'd been all around town and I could not find a wrench that big. I could find 1 3/4 inch, but that's as big as anyone had. And I have a crescent wrench, but that gets that big, but it doesn't have enough torque. Like the handle's not long enough. I couldn't get the torque I needed to open the bad boy up. And I didn't want to like stress the bolts either with just, 2 points of contact. So I went to all the stores in town. I ended up at one of the, so I did first hardware stores, nothing. Then I did like tractor and ranch supply stores, nothing. But what am I going to do? So I went around to auto repair stores. I went to the last auto repair store in town and my mechanic was there. And I was looking and they didn't have me. He's like, what you looking for? And I'm like, well, I need this wrench. I can't find one. This is the last place in town. So I guess I'm just going to have to go buy like a larger crescent wrench. So I have the torque I need with a larger handle. Mine's 15-inch. I needed like a 2-footer to have the torque I needed to open this sucker up. But I don't want to do that because I don't want to wear out those nuts. And he's like, oh, I've got a 3/16, a 1 13/16 inch socket. I was like, no way. He's like, yeah, and he let me borrow it. So isn't that cool? My car mechanic saved the day. Just happened to run into him. So shout out to Lightning Automotive if you're in Sheridan, Wyoming and want a good mechanic. I've been using them for a long time. They're honest. There's been plenty of times they could have ripped me off and they didn't. And they just let me use their big ratchet set. So that was pretty cool. So thanks, Lightning Automotive. Anyway, that's my day, and that's why I'm so discombobulated. Yeah. So with that, let's get to the giveaway. After I wet my whistle, I need to get a drink. I guess I'll have to settle for water. Alrighty. With that, let's get to the giveaway. So the giveaway for tonight is some Platies. And they're not the solid yellows, I lie. They are these. Some nice sunrise hyphen Platies. These are really beautiful fish. Nice high quality fins, nice yellow color. Some of them have some orange. I wouldn't say it's super bright orange, but they've got a little orange on them, some of them. Mostly the males, the females tend to have less. But a really pretty fish. Not the highest end live bearer for sure, but I would call it a nice upper end live bearer, the low end of the upper end live bearers. And carries the same as any platy. Like platies are some of the hardiest fish out there if they've been sourced well and acclimated well and taken care of. So, yeah. That's the giveaway. Sorry, I was distracted. Johnny's saying it was comically large socket wrench. Yeah, Johnny was laughing. It's like, you guys look like clowns with that thing. It was massive. But anyway, the giveaway. Back to the giveaway, Dan. You can tell my mind's just, it's been a day. And it's going to be a long night. And like, I already had a night this week where I worked all night. I think I got to bed at like 5 o'clock 2 nights ago because we had some fish come in and the flight was delayed. They didn't get to the airport in Billings until 12:30. And then by the time they unpacked them and got them to me, it was like 1:30. Then I had to drive back. That's 2 hours. And it was in the dark and there's deer that can jump in front of you. So I went a little slow. So it was a little over 2 hours. And then I had to unpack all those fish. So if I'm a little whack, it ain't the crack. It might be a little bit the crack, but it's mostly the lack of sleep and the crazy day trying to fix stuff. Anyway, if you would like to win some of these amazing platies, thanks again to Caylor's Aquatics and Reptiles for providing them for the giveaway. Then enter Go Bob Go, hashtag GOBOBGO. No spaces, caps don't matter. That's hashtag Go Bob Go, no spaces. And you will be entered to win some of these lovely platies. Another exciting thing happening here is we have our open house and barbecue this weekend. So Sunday and Monday, since we can't pack fish because Tuesday is a holiday and there's no sense shipping out on Monday when they can't be delivered on Tuesday, right? So because of that, wait, let me make sure I have my dates right. It is Sunday and Monday, right? Yeah, Sunday and Monday, the 2nd and 3rd, will be open to the public here at Dan's Fish. If you want to mosey up to Sheridan, Wyoming, we'll be open those 2 days. We'll feed you. We'll have barbecue and hang out, talk fish. If you come up Saturday afternoon, feel free to swing by. There won't be anything officially happening, but if you're up Saturday afternoon after about 2 p.m. or so, we should all be back from lunch by then and everything. And you can meet our veterinarian and hang out with her and ask her questions and stuff. So putting the veterinarian in the hot seat, I guess. But our veterinarian will be here Saturday if you want to meet her. And officially, though, we start Sunday and Monday. So everyone's invited. I think there's at least half a dozen people confirmed, which is more than I thought we would get. So I'm pretty excited. I know there's others coming that I don't know about. So I don't know. Might be 6, might be a dozen. I don't know. But it should be a good time. Fish nerds hanging out, eating, talking fish. And if people want to, we'll go explore up the mountain, go on a moose safari and let you see a moose if you've never seen one before. They're kind of impressive. So yeah, it should be fun. So anyone that can make it, you are more than welcome. I'm excited about that. If you want to know more about that, then go to our channel, go to community, and here's the invite. And then with a little write-up, and then here is the carpool. If you want to carpool up, some people are coming up from Laramie, Wyoming. Some people are coming up from Denver. Some people are driving in, I believe, from Billings. Then here is where you can chat about that with other people and see if there's a carpool option. So that is something I'm pretty excited about. Okay, another thing. Oh, this is good. Kelly Foreman. Liquid Zoo, hello. Welcome. Thanks for joining up. Kelly Foreman, here's your Kelly shipping report. Okay, 28 fish ordered, 28 alive. I'm now 316 for 316 fish, 100% alive. My streak continues. All right, Kelly, I'm so glad to hear that. It always makes me nervous when someone reports their long streak because I'm like, is statistics going to mandate that the next one's the problem? I don't know, but thank you so much for that report. That is nice to hear. Always super happy when someone has that much success. And then it's always a bit of a bummer when, you know, statistics hit and someone has a problem. But I'm not going to dwell on that. Nope. It's a fine day. The sun is out. Well, okay, there's clouds. The sun was out and it's beautiful. All right, couple things to go over that are new here, and then we'll get to your questions and comments. But first, we've listed a lot of new fish. So these are the super fancy sunrise platies. These are more Mappa Tetras. These are absolutely fantastic. This picture is not a joke. It's not an exaggeration. In fact, it's not even as good as they look in person. They are a brilliant little fish. This is only the second time I've ever been able to bring them in. I think they're fantastic. More of these Apistos that everybody likes so much. Some CW23s, although, okay, if you look at this picture, see how the ones facing back look quite a bit red, and the one facing this way looks more gold. That's how they are, folks. In certain light, they look more gold. In certain light, they look more red. So, the ones we had last batch, in the tank they were in, we were looking at them from above. They were a little smaller, and we were looking at them from above, looked more red. Now they're in a tank that's higher up. We're looking at them more at eye level, and they're larger, and they look more like this gold guy here. They're still the 23s. We're confident about that, but just be aware that depending on the light you use, if you're looking down on them or at eye level or up or whatever, depending on your line of sight, and I think maybe age, they might look more red in some tanks and more gold in others. So I just want to be upfront about that. I think they're the right fish, but this batch looks more gold than the last batch. Same breeder though. More tiger teddies. For those that missed out, we don't have a lot, but we got a lot of requests for them, so we did bring some more in. Just the cutest little live bear you ever did see. These guys are, it's like a gussied up mosquito fish, I guess is how I would describe them. And then the other thing that we don't have up here, oh yeah, finally more super red cribbensis. This is like a favorite of a ton of people. This is just as hardy and easy as your normal pelvic achromis poultry, your normal crib that you would find in any pet store pretty much. But these are the super reds. They've been bred for a lot of red, and they really do have a lot more red on them than your standard cribbensis. Just as hardy and peaceful and easy to breed and raise and everything as your other species. In fact, has anyone here that bought those in the past, has anyone had them breed already? Anyone had any breeding success? I'd love it if someone could raise a bunch and I could buy them from them. That would be awesome. Chocolate gouramis, one of my favorite gouramis. Tanga half-beaks. These are absolutely stunning, tiny little nano half-beaks. I can never catch the blue on them, but they have this really pretty gold here. They also have blue on them. No camera's going to pick them up. For those that are coming up here in person, I can't wait to show you that fish live because it's fantastic. Finally, some more of the guppies. A lot of people have wanted more of these blonde guppies. This is a picture I just took of some of the group. They were all huddled together, and I just took a snapshot of the current batch. And then these are the previous batch from the same breeder, but the previous batch where I had some more time, so I got, you know, some individuals so you could see them a little better. But really pretty fish. Good strain. Good breeder out of Israel for those. More yellow acara. Now these guys are one of the prettiest cichlids out there once they settle in claim a territory. Look at that. They darken up. They have their bright yellow. Super pretty fish. Oh, they're stunning. Now, this is what they look like when they aren't settled in and have not claimed a territory. So just be aware of that. Still a neat fish, but not at all. Here's another one that is not colored up, but they do turn into this. And the females are pretty as well when they color in. There's several more that I'm not going to be able to show you because I've been fighting with that heat exchanger all day. Sorry, I'm going to flip real quick. Avert your eyes if you get dizzy. And I have pictures of most of these, but I have not had a chance to load them up. But we have some amazing guppy strains right now. We have some koi snakeskins. This is the first commercial release, I think, ever of the koi snakeskin guppy in the United States. So we were only able to get a few. They're a little bit expensive, but they're stunning. I'll get pictures up. We do have some Elosoma evergladei, the little pygmy sunfish. Really nice McMasteri, but these are what I really want to show you are, oh, the koi swordtails are really nice too. All these guppies out of Israel. These are absolutely beautiful fish. And so I just want to bring that up, that we have a bunch of those in there that are listed but no pictures yet. My task tomorrow is I have to rebuild the pump. So we rebuilt the pump a few weeks ago and we found a problem, which is there was literally chunks of metal from one of the pieces inside the pump that had, let me show you this. This is crazy. That had been torn off because when the plumbers did their job, they left chunks of PVC down in the cistern and the pump pulled them up. So like big pieces of metal from this part tore off, and that's why it's been making a funny sound. We have the replacement parts now, and so tomorrow I need to rebuild the pump. But depending on how long that takes, any spare time I get, I'll be taking pictures and posting them. Tomorrow and the next day, that's my goal. And then after that, I have to get ready for people to come visit. So it's been a very, very busy week. But hope to have those pictures up for you soon. There are 211 folks here. Thanks, folks. Thanks for being here. Thanks for spending a bit of your Wednesday evening with us. We greatly appreciate it. I think I'm going to go ahead and do a little giveaway right now. Let's see. A treat for the early birds. So there's 104 people here that have entered, 104 that have entered for the Platy giveaway. So I'm going to go do that now. This is just to thank people that come early and don't just show up at the end, hoping for a win. So for those folks, thank you. And the winner is S&T Creek. S&T Creek, congratulations. You have won a couple of pairs of really nice Platys. Nice high fin sunrise Platys that look a lot like this. Nice fish. Cheery, nice hardy Platy, also with large dorsal. And you've got 2 minutes to chime in and let us know that you're here, because you do have to do that in order to claim your winnings. So oh, there you are. All right, S&T Creek. Wow, this is awesome. Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for participating, S&T Creek. Appreciate it greatly. And yeah. Hey, BJ Palmer, good to see you. I feel like it's been a little while. All right, so S&T Creek. What you need to do to claim your winning is send us an email, hello@dansfish.com. That's HELLO@dansfish.com. Send us an email, say, hey, it's me. I need your first name, your last name, and your mailing address so we know who we're sending it to and where we're sending it. And then we will get back in touch with you, and we'll set up a shipping date and get that all figured out. Got to put a little liquid bandage on. I tried to smash a snail, and the snail shell broke and cut me. I've never had that happen before. I had a snail shell stuck in a siphon, so I was squeezing it to kind of get it to break so it wasn't clogging the siphon tube. And part of this shell was sticking out of the siphon tube, and it totally cut me. But I guess that's like 30 some odd years me, one instance snail. So I'll take that record, I guess. But yeah, surprised the heck out of me. All right. With that, I think it's time to get to your questions and comments. If you have a question or comment about anything fish keeping related, or about any fish we have, or whatever, shipping fish, setting up a fish room, setting up an aquarium, breeding fish, feeding fish, anything about fish. I'll see if I can help you out. So feel free to leave any comments like that down below, and I will gladly engage. All right, so the first one I can see is Scaly Aquatics with a K. My first ever time I've gotten to enter the giveaway because I have started a fish room and have tank space. All right, that sounds like a good time to me. Remember, triple the number of tanks you have. Do it. Do it now. Do it for world peace. Do it for the children. I always say more tanks equals more happiness. Now, of course, there is a point where you get so many tanks that it's like, man, this is like, I'm not enjoying this at all. It's just work all the time. So I get that. But in general, I find setting up a tank makes me happy. Brian Radovic, any interesting little quarries coming down the pipeline? I think the most, well, there's a few, but the one that I think is really cool is Corridor's Weitzmanni. We've got those. They were bred and raised by the one and only Rick May, a hobbyist breeder. And Weitzmanni is awesome. I guess part of why I like it is I know its history. This little guy was discovered in like 1904 or something like that. But no one saw a live specimen until I believe it was 2004. Until then, only preserved specimens had been seen, at least, you know, here in the West, in the United States anyway. So for years, this thing was a phantom. And when they finally found it, such a neat fish. When they finally found it in a like shallow little rocky stream up in the mountains. So because they're from kind of more mountainy stream, you know, actual flowing water type situation, they're a very active cory. They remind me a lot of Aspidoris. Very active, swimming around all the time. So I think that one is pretty interesting. We do have a few others coming in once they're through quarantine. But let's see here. We have a big batch of Trilineatus. I know that's not rare, right? The Julie cory that isn't really a Julie cory, but that's what everyone calls them. Corydoras Trilineatus. And we have some skunk cories that I'm hoping we can release soon. And one other that I think we're still kind of trying to identify. Rye Guy Outdoors asking me, what else do you want? Oh, I get to choose? Will it magically appear? How about just some sleep? I'll settle for a good night's sleep. Yeah, for sure. It's the cost of starting a business. Joe Sneed, the samurai gourami I got yesterday are already starting to color up slightly. Awesome. I've been given like 2 weeks, and any females will really be colored up by then usually. If they settle in, usually a couple weeks is enough, but I'm glad to hear that. If they started kind of getting those vertical bars, then you know it's coming. It's coming, and they are worth it. Oh, such a beautiful fish. Jacob Metzner, hey Dan, are the blonde koi guppies also considered tuxedo? How do they differ from koi tuxedo? So, kind of, some people call them tuxedo. I'm not real comfortable calling them that, because why is that? Johnny and I had a whole discussion about this. Why wasn't I comfortable calling them that? In general, I try to use as few descriptors as possible when describing a fish, because every descriptor I add adds the possibility of error, right? So if I say blonde koi, and it's like in the females, so here's a male, you know, he's got kind of the tux on him. The females don't at all. And it's just kind of a tux. It's not, that one's showing up pretty good. It's not as, it wasn't tuxedo enough for me to be like, okay, we can call that a tuxedo, and everyone will be, like, and no one would be disappointed by that descriptor. So we could call them blonde tuxedo koi guppy, but if they're not perfect tuxedo, then it's like, oh, well, because to me, that's just not, oh, I'm not showing them. To me, that's just not, when I think of a tuxedo, I think of like a black, black, black stripe, kind of blotchy stripe up the middle of the fish that often doesn't go, like that's as tuxedo-y as they get in this batch. But I guess that's tuxedo-y, but when I think of tuxedo, I think of like that. Very obvious black. Or like that. Very obvious black. And usually there's some space above and below also on the tuxedos. That right there, that to me is tuxedo. Now I know none of those are guppies. And like, I get that, like, this is called a tuxedo, but it's maybe more like a half black. Like, I don't know. The common names always get me. I'm always like, okay, is that actually what that is? Like, we have a really pretty guppy right now that we're trying to figure out what it is. In fact, maybe I'll show you guys a picture real quick. See if you can help me out. Come on. Why is my computer not, there it is. Computer's slow because it's streaming, so everything's slower. But let me show you this. This is a fish we're trying to figure out. Yeah, this beauty. So, oh, where'd it go? There you are. Let me get this over here in the right spot where I can share it with you. Ah, man. Okay, it's black on black here. This so it's a little hard for me to figure this out, but I think I got it. Okay. So there you go. Beautiful little guppy. I don't know what to call that. They were sold to me as blue glass guppies. But the problem is if I call that a glass guppy, you're going to be like, it's not transparent. I can't see through it. So I can't call it a glass guppy because a glass guppy would look like this. Right, this is what you would be expecting, I think, for glass guppies, like just super, super clear guppies. Something like this. And they're definitely not clear like that. See, like transparent. So yeah, with and there's language barriers too, and so like the supplier might call them one thing. It's like, did you mean grass? But then you look and it's like, no, that's not really a grass guppy either. When I think of a grass guppy, I think of like a whole lot of pattern in the tail, a whole lot of kind of laciness, if you will, in the tail, and they don't have that or contrast. So, yeah. I think they could be called Tuxedo. I just didn't know if they were tuxedo-y enough to merit the name. I didn't want to disappoint someone. That's the answer to that. I mean, no matter what I do, I end up disappointing people, it seems like, to tell you the truth. But, yeah. Okay. Miguel Leon, any chance you will be restocking in some scarlet and teardrop gobies? Yes. I don't know the exact timeline though. So when I bring those gobies in, I have to order many thousands of fish to do that import. And so that means I have to sell enough of the fish that supplier provides to have before I can do an order. Because let's say there's 60 species I get from that supplier, and let's say I have, you know, I don't know, 50 of those 60 species still in stock. Well, it doesn't really make sense to do an order because there's only 5 species or 10 species, 50 to 60. Yeah, I think that's what I said. There's only 10 species I'm out of. So I have to kind of wait. If it was 60, I need to wait till I've sold down to like maybe I only have 20 species left or 10 species left or something like that. And then I can, you know, order again. So when you're buying in bulk, it curtails some things. Her 209. Are the corridors punctatus still in the fish room, or will they be going on the website at some point in the future? No, I need to bring in more corridors punctatus. I don't have any for sale at the moment. Nabokov fan, but I do plan to bring more in. I have a good supplier for those, so I do plan to bring more in. Kind of after the 4th of July, all that'll start again. I don't know exactly when they'll have more available, but it's on my list to get more. I like that fish a lot. Nabokov fan 87. I tried to email some info your way with the black Schultz inquiries. The photo on the site is a bit off. On our site? I wanted to show you mine for comparison. What's the best way to share that? Send it to hello@dansfish.com. HELLO@dansfish.com. Amisa, I've heard that it's almost impossible to find a female scarlet batis. Dario. Is that true? Are you able to get any? That's true. We've had a couple customers that have ended up with females from us, but Excuse me. But it's rarer than a hen's tooth. Yeah, it's only happened a couple times. Every other time, when we've tried to select them a female, we've selected one that's, you know, drab and brown and doesn't, you know, as colored down as possible. And later it discolors up into a male. It's just a subdominant male. Fluffy Cow Aquatics, what did you use to cut stands and make them so clean and consistent? So we just used a miter saw. I like to call it a chop saw. And to dado out the openings, we had a gentleman that helped us with that, and he just used a clamp, a table, and I believe just a skill saw. Yeah, a circular saw, handheld skill saw. I believe that's how he did that. Now, if you had a good dado table, that might be a lot easier, but yeah, that's how he did that. And I've done that in the past too when I built stands. Just used a circular saw and just made a lot of cuts, and then used a chisel and, you know, got them out and made it smooth. I got that idea from Ted Judy. He showed his process of doing that with the circular saw. Yeah, you can do a lot with basic tools. Okay. Johnny's asking if we're doing a second giveaway. I don't know. You'll have to stick around and find out. Nathan Hovey. I'm really new to endlers and have a 50-50 mix of male and female. I'd say around 12 to 15-ish fish in total. How many more females should I get, if any at all? Thanks. You're fine. Yeah, I mean, you could have like 6 females to 1 male if you wanted. He would be very happy with that. But 50-50, I don't, especially if it's a good size group, that's very common. And in good size groups, I think that's fine. Yeah. But like 6 to 1, 12 to 1, 20 to 1 wouldn't be a problem. If you wanted to go really female heavy, that'd be one happy dude. And, you know, that would give the ladies a break, which they would appreciate, I'm sure. But 50-50 is pretty normal. I assume that 50-50 is about what it is in nature. Jeff Kane. Hello, Jeff. Thank you so much for being a member. Really appreciate that. Tinted glass guppies. Yes. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, man. A big thunderclap just came over. We're going to get real heavy rain in a minute. I'm going to get soaked. I have to go outside and finish washing down these the plates that are inside that heat exchanger or economizer tonight. I might as well just go out in my swim trunks and bare feet. Yep, at this point. Let's see here. Make sure I didn't miss anyone. Cruise Aquatics. Any idea of getting more bleeding heart tetras and any CW28 Super Schwartz Eye Purus, or Purus, was it? I can't remember. Or any Cory Similis Red. Ooh, what's Corridor Similis Red? I don't even know this fish. Corridor Similis Red. Yep, here it comes. How did I not know about this? Okay. So here's the Corridor Similis Red is what they're calling it. Although be careful, like I can tell just looking at the gravel that it looks to me like that picture has the red saturation on quite a bit. Yeah, it looks like it has an entire red tint. Normally colored in red. Yeah, okay, maybe. And I don't want to accuse this person of anything. I could be wrong, but as a guy that edits lots of photos, that sure looks like saturated red to me. Although this doesn't. Okay. This down here doesn't, so maybe that is real. If this was saturated red, I think we'd see it in the white sand. So that is more red than that. Okay. Sorry, Rolf. Sorry I doubted you. When I see this, though, and it's got a reddish tint in the background, it just makes me go like, oh, that's neat. Yeah, didn't even know about this fish. Interesting. Yeah, cool. So, don't know about that one. Bleeding Heart Tetras, I might bring some more. And the issue is that we sat on those forever. Those didn't sell. So it doesn't make a lot of sense for us to bring them in. CW28s I can bring in. I'm really hesitant though. Like the only source I have for those currently is wild-caught quarries. And I'm dabbling my feet in some wild-caught quarries a little bit. But it's real high risk right now. It's kind of early days with that. We have a veterinarian to help us out with that, but yeah, I'm not real comfortable bringing in a expensive fish like the CW28s right now when we're still trying to figure out our corridor suppliers and all that. So I'm not sure when I'll be able to crack that code. It's so funny how like you go to viewer activity and sometimes it's like there's nothing there when obviously people have been active. So sorry folks if I'm not seeing your activity. I usually rely on the viewer activity tab to see that, but it's on the fritz today. Okay, so sorry Cruise Aquatics, hate to disappoint you, but probably not bringing any of those in anytime soon. I don't have the source right now for Corridor Similis Red. Bleeding Hearts didn't sell well, and the 28s are too risky at this time. Jacob Allen, who makes these names for guppies? Does the breeder just make up a catchy name, and if it catches on, then that's that? I don't know. I think so. I think whoever develops the strain has the right to name it. I think that's probably how it happens. And if you developed a certain trait and that trait is expressed in that strain, then the name of that trait that someone else before you developed is likely to be included in that, along with all the traits you added to it, or the new mix. And this is going to happen to infinity. There are literally so many variations of guppies right now, so many different traits that will never reach the end of how they can be combined with each other. Like statistically, we'll just never get there. There's too many options. Yep, I'm going to be outside washing heat exchanger panels in the rain. Y'all hear that? I bet you do. It's pretty loud. Yeah, that's my night. Go home, get in my swim trunks, and just go out there and get it done. That's loud. Mandy Boyd, I agree with several others. Stained glass guppies or maybe blue flame. Yeah, I like that name. I just don't want to just make up random names though. Like, I think we just might call it Israeli blue or Israeli iridescent blue or something like that. But then the tail has a lot of yellow in it. And from what I understand, a lot of times when you say make a name for a guppy, you're actually describing the color of the tail finish. So I don't know if that makes sense either. But I like it. I like that name. Stained glass guppies or baby blue flame. Jay, like those are all good options. Jay, out of my 3 groups of guppies I purchased last month, 2 of the 3 are breeding. Awesome. I lost my black metal snakeskin male about 3 weeks after having him. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. But I'm glad to hear that the others are doing well. I hope that the females of the black metal will give you some babies and you can get the strain going. I'm sorry to hear that he only lasted 3 weeks. Spinster Sister, when will the photos of koi sanke swords be available online? I know. Will you ever sell veil-tail females alone again? Oh. I hadn't thought of that. I suppose that people would want pairs on the veil tails to try to breed them. Right now, I don't have the sex ratio to sell just females. In fact, I have like 4 extra males at this point, because I did get some extra males from a previous batch while I was still figuring all this out. So I'm not quite sure. Caylor's Aquatics and Reptiles says the volume is scratchy. That's probably because I'm projecting really loudly to try to be heard over the rain. There's a lot of rain here right now, and it's super loud on the metal roof of the warehouse. So I'm talking loud, and I'm probably putting it into the red zone. Is this okay, people? Can you still hear me okay, or is this like a, it's not going to work, we should just, you know, shut it down kind of deal? Because if no one can understand me, or if it's just horrible, then I can, you know, I get that. I don't want to do just a horrible live stream. So let me know, folks. Are we okay, or is it like horrendous? It's okay? Yeah, it's just like super loud rain up on the roof above me, and it's a metal roof. So, okay, we'll keep going then. Oh, and you can't hear the rain. Okay, so if I just talk like this, like normal, do I not need to like talk so loud to try to get it over the rain? I'll do that. I'll do that. Sorry, I was like really almost yelling, because to my ears, it's super loud. Talk normal. Okay, I'll do that until advised otherwise. Thanks, folks. So, Spinster Sister, I will get photos up as quick as I can, but I've got to get this heat exchanger put back together so I can run the system tonight, so the fish have fresh water overnight, and then tomorrow I've got to tear apart the pump and rebuild it. And the priority then is getting, oh, the rain kind of moved on. Don't worry, there'll be more. But I've got to get that pump rebuilt so that I can get water flowing again tomorrow. So anytime I turn the system off and do maintenance, I can't, that's got to be the priority so the fish don't go too long without their fresh water. The Biker Aquarist. Will you be carrying diamond head neon tetras at some point? Yeah, probably. They're available. I can get them. That's one of those fish that the price point is fairly low, and it's hard for me because of how we source fish. First of all, well, let's look at this. Diamond head neon tetra for sale. What's the market for these right now? $4. $39.99. Oh, that's out of stock price. $5.88. That's closer. $5.88 for one, huh? Wow. $4.50. Maybe I can do that. So I can't sell a fish for less than $5.99. Just because when we source fish, we have them pack in less density. It's a lighter pack, which means that the freight costs are quite high, and that's reflected in the cost of the fish. And then we do a 2-week quarantine period. We've got, you know, a vet examining things. Sometimes we have to send things off to a laboratory for diagnostics if there's a problem. We have the medications we use and all that, and the time and care and, you know, work hours that go into all that. I have to pay the staff. And so once we've done all that, I could get a fish for free basically and still need to sell it for $5.99. So if the fish didn't cost anything and I was just paying the cost to get it here and to get it healthy and get it through quarantine and sent to you, $5.99 is about where that would land. And so often there's fish that are very inexpensive in the hobby that I can bring in and I can sell, but they sell super slowly because you can get them at, you know, Petco for $1.99 or $2.99. And it's rough for most people to spend, you know, 3 times as much on a fish to get it from us when they can go get it at their big box store, or maybe even mom and pop if that's still around in your area. Hopefully it is. I like mom and pops, but when you can get it for $1.99 or something. So that one though, it looks like the market rate is $4.99 to $5.99. So that's one that maybe I could bring in. But a lot of those little tetras, like the Black Phantom tetras, I think I've had those for a year. Now, granted, I brought in a lot of them, but what do we bring in? Maybe 300 of them. But you'd think in a year you could sell 300, right? So that's why right now that fish is probably marked down to $3.99. Yeah, they're $3.99. So are the red phantoms. And at $3.99, I still haven't been able to sell out. So, and I get that. Like, this is not me saying people should spend this much on these fish. I get that. We're going to charge you $5.99 probably. And on top of that, there's the shipping. Like, that's a lot for a fish that's inexpensive locally. So I don't have any qualms with that, but it just means it's a bad business move. But the diamond head is more than I thought. I thought I used to see those for around, $3, but maybe I'll do that. Okay, scrolling, because chat jumped on me like it sometimes does. Any more coral red pencil fish? Seems like they sold very well. Oh yeah, they sold great. It's a fish that usually sells really well for us. Let's see. Pencil. So we just have purples. There might be just a few left. It looks like we've sold out of most of them, but we'll have to see if once we caught all the ones that were sold, there might be a couple left in the tank. I'm not sure, in which case we could relist them, but there won't be many. Once we get to the point where it's like we're down to the few, that we're left just because we try not to overcount what we have available, then there's usually just a few. But we much prefer undercounting than overcounting. I hate it when we sell fish and then we're like, oh, sorry, we actually don't have those in stock, or we don't have all of them that you ordered. And that happens too often. We're careful about that, and we don't want it to ever happen. But with live animals, it's just hard to count them. It's hard to be completely accurate. So, or if one gets sick or something, it's fluctuating. DJ Sus, Astro Pop Guppies. we're getting some good names. I like them. Woo! Thunder, lightning. Leo lost another auto. What do you think is going on? I don't know, Leo. Is it a well-established tank with lots of food? And has anyone else had trouble? Anyone else that's bought Autosynclists from us? These are the common autos, I believe, that Leo has. If you bought the Autosynclists from us in the last couple weeks, month, how are they doing? Are they still doing well? Hopefully they are. So the reason I want to ask that is because if everyone else's are doing well, then something maybe happened in shipping to you, Leo, that didn't happen to the others. When they got to your neck of the woods, it might have got a little too hot or a little too cold or something, don't know. Or if everyone else is doing fine, there might be something with your tank that we need to try to fix. But have to see how we're doing with everybody else before I know the answer to that. Okay, now the viewer activity just appeared again, randomly. It's been black for a long time. Rye Guy Outdoors. Hey, Dan, did you get my email? Did you send it like during this stream? Then no. Did you send it like today after the workday started? Then no. Like I haven't had time to check my email today. I've been trying to get this thing cleaned and all the maintenance done and put back together. All right. Leo 209. Yeah, it's a 79 gallon, been running for like 4 months. Plenty of algae. Okay, yeah. So if it's been 4 months and it's all stable and you got lots of algae, then it's probably not that. Let's see what everyone else says. We'll get to that in a moment. Get down far enough to see what everyone else is saying about theirs. Caylor's Aquatics and Reptiles, can you vid the swim trunks tonight? Yeah, it's going to be cold. There's like 200 panels I got to wash. Randy Coach, are there any Hamburg hyphen swordtails coming in anytime soon? Johnny, do we have a few of those left? I'm not sure. Let's see here. We have one female. So it looks like we sold. If there's one female listed, then that means we've probably sold all the pairs. If we're down to one female. So yes, as soon as I can, I'll bring more of those in. I love that fish. The breeder does not produce a lot of them. I bought all of the ones that they had this last batch. So I don't know what their cycle is as far as breeding and raising. I don't know if they have any on the way, if they're waiting for the next drop or what. But yeah, as soon as they're available, I will be bringing more of those in. That's just an amazing fish. Trying to put enough of this liquid bandage on my Revenge of the Snail cut to make it waterproof, so when I'm out there later tonight, it'll be fine. Fish and floral. Any chance of getting some Florida flagfish? Yes. I have a gift card burning a hole in my pocket. I'd like at least 6. Yes, I have some, and I should be able to get them listed, I'm going to say within the next 2 weeks. If they're not listed in the next 2 weeks, yell at me. Fish and floral. Tony Adams, I've been curious for a while about something. I know you like buying from hobbyists, but what fish are you looking for, and what requirements do you want them to meet? Looking for all kinds of stuff, honestly. Anything that we sell, if we could source it from a hobbyist, we would like to do that. But also, I would love to buy killifish from hobbyists. I need a source for killifish. Killifish are my true passion, and it's hard for me to get them in. So killifish would be wonderful. All kinds of fundulopanchax and aphyosemians and nothobronchius and South American annuals. And man, Aphyosemium striatum shouldn't be hard to get, but it's hard for me to get. Some of the chrome Aphyosemians, Aphyosemian bivitatum funge, I would love to get some of those. So all kinds of killies. Some of the wild type bettas I would love to purchase from a hobbyist. Any peaceful dwarf cichlid, like any Atokita, would be awesome. Corydoras. I would love to buy more Corydoras from hobbyists. I don't like the supply chain with Corys. I would much prefer to get them from hobbyists. There's some decent suppliers, but it's just hobbyists would be better. You guys love your fish. You take care of your fish. You don't treat them like a commodity, right? In the industry just seems to do that by default. It takes a special supplier to kind of think beyond that and treat the fish differently. And what requirements? Ideally, they would be, big enough that they don't have to be fully mature or all that, but if they're a fish that we need to sell in pairs, like killifish, pairs or trios, or apistos, those sell much better in pairs or trios, then we would like to be able to sex them. We'd like them to be big enough that they're sexable. If they're a very small fish, we want them to be big enough that they'll transport easily and we don't have to grow them up. So it's hard for us to buy a fish if it's under an inch or so, although it depends on the fish, right? Like CPD, sure, half an inch is fine, but we don't generally like to buy, big full-grown fish. We like to buy juveniles or kind of just starting to sex out. Now, that depends on the species too. If they're a nanofish, then sure. But like for example, I ordered a bunch of 2-inch fish recently, and what they sent me was 7-inch fish, and it's like, man, the reason I ordered the 2-inchers is because it's much easier to ship the 2-inchers. So that's why I did that. And now I've got to figure out what I want to do with these big 7-inch fish. So, yeah. Hopefully that helps. But mainly, if you would just email us, hello@dancefish.com, that's HELLO@dancefish.com, with the fish that you have available or think you might want to start breeding for us, we can start there. And if they are already available, what we want to know is what you have, how many you have, how big they are, what the sex ratio is if that's pertinent to that species, and what you want for them. What we can pay is 25% of the retail cost landed. So the fish plus the shipping, the fish getting them here, 25% of the retail cost is what we can do. All right, let's keep looking. I have 19% left on the medium ship box, says Spinster Sister. What do you suggest for a Libear 20-gallon tank? Only Libears? I mean, I don't know what the other Libears in that box are, but if they're peaceful, then I would suggest, honestly, any of the guppies. The koi guppies look amazing, amazing. I really like the high-fin platies. The ones we're giving away are awesome. The sunset high-fin platies are awesome. We have 2 types. One is a nice-looking fish, and then the other ones, which we call, I think, the fancy. Let's see what we're calling those. I think we're calling them fancy. Yeah. They're much more expensive, but they have a lot more orange in them and generally better quality, higher dorsal fins. Those are awesome. What else is looking really good? I really like the coral platies, and I really like, let's see, the coral. Oh, are they not listed? Oh, maybe we're out, but I like these too. The blue, oh no, there they are. Blue coral calico platy. I like the red platies. What platy? There they are. We're calling them dark red platy, not dark red coral platy. And I really like the neon yellow calico platy. This is my favorite of all time. Oh, I'm not showing these. This is my favorite of all time of this standard kind of, available in the industry, not super expensive platies. But I think you already have those. I like those a lot. I like these a lot. These are the dark red platies. These are the hyphens. And if you want the fancy hyphens, then these are them, of the sunrises. And then the blue coral, I think any of those are beautiful. Of the guppies, the blue ivory guppies are amazing. Fairly expensive. But these are beautiful. I love these. Really nice looking guppy. And then another guppy. I mean, any of the ones that were listed today, I think would be awesome. Like the Israel supplied guppies would be great. Yeah. Okay. I think, folks, that uncharacteristically, first I want to see if people chatted about how the autos are doing. Anyone have problems with the autos? And then I think we're going to do another giveaway. And then I'm going to shut it down early because I've got to go get this thing done. And I already had one night where I was up till 5 a.m. And I'm getting old enough that 2 of those in 1 week is a lot for me. Let's see here. Yes, Burns Aquatics, people do get flagfish to eat algae. Now, they're not really good at eating, oh, sorry, I just didn't switch back. Did I mention I'm exhausted? I'm tired. I'm probably doing a poor job. But folks don't, they don't do a great job on like diatom algae, like surface algae that's really flat. They do a good job though on algae that kind of grows up and out, and they chew on that. Like the soft hair algae, they'll eat that pretty quick. In fact, that's why I don't have them up listed. I need to make a video. I want to do a video comparing the flagfish, the Amano shrimp, and like the green leaf shrimp. Let me show you these and how well they eat algae. Leaf. Okay, these are so far the best algae eating shrimp I've ever found. These kick Amano's butts when it comes to eating algae. They tear through it so fast. So if you really want an algae eating shrimp, I know you asked about flagfish, but in general, these eat algae much faster than the Amanos. But anyway, I'll make that video. Okay, I'm getting there. Let's see here. Stephen P, my autos are fat and sassy. Okay. Amisa, all 6 autos I got on 613 are doing well. Okay. Mine are fine, says Sith Lord. So Leo, it sounds like in general the autos are doing well for people. And the reason I asked that question is it could be me. You know, maybe I missed something, or maybe something happened in shipping, and that's still all possible. But if everyone else's are doing fine and you're having trouble with yours, then it makes me wonder if there's something going on in the aquarium. And that's a conversation where if you could email us pictures of the aquarium, video would be great too. Just so we can get a sense of like how it's set up and what it looks like and what other fish are in there and all that. Do they behave completely normally? Are they eating well and then they just randomly die for no reason you can see? If that's the case, that's a lot harder to figure out. But Leo, if you email us pictures and maybe a short video as well, that gives me a sense of like how hard the bubbles are going and the water movement and stuff. And maybe some parameters that could be useful. And what are you feeding? One thing with autos is you don't want to feed a lot of protein. So if there's other fish in that tank and the other fish are being fed a lot of protein and the autos are overindulging in the protein, that could be an issue for the autos. So that's something to think about. Yeah, but besides that, we'll need to work with you. And we're happy to do that. Please do contact us with some information so we can do that. Hello@dancefish.com. That's HELLO@dancefish.com. As you, Leo, already know. Caylor's Aquatics and Reptiles, proud to support the mission. Yes, Caylor's been a huge support in many ways over the years, and much appreciated, Bob Caylor. And Killer Kitty throwing down a $4 super chat. Thank you. Always love it when money falls out of the computer and lands on our laps. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Leo says they're chunky, that's why I'm confused. If they're chunky and they're eating a lot of protein, I'm not saying this is the case, but there's chunky, which is fat and sassy like we like them, and then there's bloated, which is a different problem entirely. And so that's why pictures will be helpful. So we'll try to help you out, Leo. Please email us, and Johnny and I will try to help you. I don't know how much we'll be able to do from a distance, but we'll do what we can. Okay, with that, we're going to do the last giveaway of the night, which is for more of those awesome Platies. And the winner is, oh, I hit keyword, like that's going to do anything. We have 187 folks here, and the winner is Steve Elliott. That's a name I recognize. Steve Elliott, congratulations. You have won. You have 2 minutes to chime in and let us know that you're here, which puts us at 8:14. So at 8:14, we will be looking for your answer. If we don't have it by then, and mods, please let me know if that happens, if Steve answers. If you don't chime in 2 minutes, we'll forfeit your winnings and draw somebody else. There it is. Steve Elliott says, no way, lol. All right, Steve, you have officially won now. All you need to do is email us, hello@dancefish.com. That's HELLO@dancefish.com with your first name, last name, and your mailing address so we know who you are and where to send them, who we're sending them to and where to send them. And then we'll get a shipping date scheduled and set up for you. So congratulations. Thanks again to Bob Caylor at Caylor's Aquatics and Reptiles for providing the giveaway. Each of you will be getting 2 pairs of those beautiful, beautiful platies. Really nice hyphen sunrise platies, just beautiful fish. These guys. Good looking. All right. So thanks to everyone for participating, and congrats, Steve. All right. I'm going to sign off because I've got a heat exchanger to clean and a system to reconfigure and get running tonight. And it's going to be a late one, I can already tell. So let's start this by signing off by thanking our moderators. Thank you so much for being here and doing what you do every week. And especially the main mod of the night, Caylor's Aquatics and Reptiles. Why is he the main mod? Because he provided the giveaway. So thanks for paying for that, Bob. Always appreciated. Also, thanks to all the members. We really appreciate the members for joining up. Thanks for being a member of the channel. Yeah, you know, it's only what, $5, I think, so it doesn't seem like a lot, but in aggregate, that ends up being a decent amount for us. I think we've got over 100 members. I'd have to check. I haven't looked in a long time, but that little bit of money every month is super helpful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then everyone that threw super chats at us, thank you for throwing money at us. Always appreciated, never required. But we are a little startup that could. You know, we're the little engine that could, working its way up the mountain. Sometimes it feels more like Sisyphus pushing the rock up the mountain. But what we are is a little engine that could, working its way up the mountain. And every penny helps at this stage. We're a startup. We're not out of the woods yet. We're on our way towards sustainability, but we're not there yet. So every little bit helps. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Fluffy Cow, good to see you. I just love that username. Anyways, everyone that is lurking, hail the Lurker Nation. If you are listening on the replay, thanks for listening, and hello from the past. If you're listening to the podcast, thanks for listening to the podcast. We'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. I can't wait to meet everyone that's coming for the 4th of July weekend barbecue. We'll see you on the 2nd and 3rd. And if you show up a little early on the 1st, what is that, the Saturday, right? Saturday afternoon, then you'll be able to meet our veterinarian, which could be kind of fun. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.